This video is going to go through a fairly basic linear programming example where we're manufacturing two products, product A and product B, and each one of them requires a certain number of hours in different departments to be produced. The molding department, the paint shop, and the finishing department. And then product A is special in that shipping it possibly is more complicated than product B, and the shipping department can only handle up to 40 units of product A each week. And what we're looking to do is we're looking to maximize our profit, and we know that product A contributes $20 profit per item and product B contributes $30 profit per item. Okay, so note we've almost gathered all of our data. So usually it's nice to kind of gather your data first before you lay out your problem. We actually basically have all our data laid out in this problem quite nicely for us. Real world is not this simple. You have to go gather all this data either from talking to somebody or gathering it yourself. But yeah, so we know the production hours. We know our profit per item that's contributed, etc., etc. So we have all our information for this problem nicely laid out for us without having to talk to anybody, record any information, anything for this problem. So we're just going to work with what we have here. And now we're going to take this word problem, if you will, and turn it into an algebraic linear programming problem. So what I mean by that, we're going to define what's called the objective function. We're going to define our variables and our constraints. I like us to actually start with the objective function. So what our objective is the following. Our objective is to maximize our profit. So that profit function is actually our objective function then. Our objective is to maximize our profit, so our objective function is the profit function. Now we're told that each product A item brings in $20. Let's call XA the number of items of product A produced. And we make $20 off each item, so 20 times by XA will give us the profit given to us or brought in by product A. Let's call XB the number of items of product B produced. And product B contributes $30 per item. So 30 times XB will be the profit generated by product B. Okay, so our objective function, here it is. It's this profit function right here, this guy right here. And we've actually, in defining our objective function, actually figured out what our variables are also. It's just XA and XB, the number of items of each one produced. Now, constraints. We have several of them. We only have 200 hours available in the molding department, 210 in the painting department. And we have 120 in finishing. And forgive me, I just did these backwards. Sorry, molding is 210, painting is 200. Okay. And then we have one more constraint, shipping. We have max 40 of XA that we can ship. So let's write out each of these constraints algebraically, or basically as equations, or in this case inequalities they're called. Okay, so we're producing XA and XB. Now XA requires 3 hours per product to produce XA, 3 hours in molding, in the molding department. So 3 times by the number of them produced will give us the total number of hours in the molding department that product A requires. Product B also requires 3 hours. So it's 3 times by xb for molding. And we have a maximum of 210 hours. So when we take the total between the two items here, 3 times XA will give us a total number of hours in molding for product A, 3 times XB, total number of hours in molding for product B. When we add those together, that sum can be at most 210 hours. We do the same thing for our painting. We were told product A requires 4 hours in painting, product B 2 hours. We have at most 200 hours total in painting. And finishing, product A requires 1 hour, product B requires 2 hours, and we have up to 120 hours in the finishing department. And then shipping, we can ship at most 40 of product A. Notice nothing was specified about product B, so we don't include it in the shipping constraint. We weren't told any constraints on product B, so we don't include it if we're not told anything here. Now, non-negativity. That is when a variable cannot go below 0. Okay, so non-negativity. So actually both our variables are what we call non-negative. What that means is that they can't be negative. Both XA and XB are a number of items produced. You can't have a negative number of items produced. I guess a negative number would kind of be like antimatter. We're not in a physics class, so we're not worrying about that. So our quantities produced for each item are going to be both positive. Okay, and so here we are. We've set up our linear programming problem. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to solve it graphically. In the video after that, I'm going to show you how to set it up in Excel and use Solver to solve for the optimal solution.